Hello, hello, hello. If you guys are watching on the replay, hello and Happy New Year. So I am a little late. Not too late, just a little late. Whenever y'all see me get on here late, it's because my hair wanted to do its own thing. And I really still have a braid back here somewhere that is not taken down. But I was like, let me just get it down enough to where I can get on camera because it still doesn't look exactly the way I wanted it to look, but I was like, let me just make myself presentable so I can get on here and talk to you guys. But, I thought I had enough time, before. But I guess not. It took longer than expected to get it together. And of course, that happens with natural hair, but you just got to be willing to just go with it. So I hope that you guys have been doing well. I hope that this new year has been treating you well. It has definitely been treating me well, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. If you saw the title, it says New Year, same me? Question mark. So it's a bit of a question, because you see a lot of people who go into the new year saying, New year, new me, and I used to be one of those people, but I'm glad that I'm not anymore. So I'm going to talk to you guys about all of that. And I know it's after 6:03 at this point, so I'm just going to keep going, and whoever pops in, we'll welcome them in, but I'm just going to keep the train moving. So, a lot has been going on with me. So, if you guys have not subscribed to my mailing list, make sure that you click the link in the bio because my mailing list fam knows everything that's going on. I've teased a few things with them, so they're going to know when things happen before the public knows. So, if you guys want to get exclusive tips, exclusive news, exclusive offers, I just had a sale that ended yesterday for my mailing list. So, make sure that you get on that. They were able to save 20% on my ebook. So if you want to take advantage of those savings, make sure that you hop on my mailing list. And I'm also going to be introducing a special discount code for everyone who tunes into my live videos. So, in order to take advantage of that, you have to follow me on at Masterpieces Writing. That is my business account. And I will be doing Pick My Brain tomorrow. And I will be talking about goals versus resolutions. So, if that's something that you've had a question about, something that you've been interested in, make sure that you follow me on at Masterpieces Writing. And really, I'm going to talk about why resolutions aren't necessarily a great idea. And before I talked about that tomorrow, I just wanted to share my personal experiences with why resolutions really do not work. And basically, like I told you guys before, I was a person who would be like New Year, new me. And I would come into the new year thinking as like, okay, so all the things I did last year, I'm not taking into this year. We're about to switch things up. We're about to be different. However, everything still would be completely the same because all I was doing was talking. I wasn't doing anything to actually put action behind my words. It's like it was basically like a wish. Nothing where there was a plan for me to change my behavior or even any clear steps on what that would even look like to get into this idea of myself that I wanted to be. And as I'm speaking to you guys now, I'm starting to question if I even had a clear idea of who I wanted myself to be. I just knew I wanted to be better than what I was at the time. So my sister joined. Hello, Luanda. So I was just giving everybody a brief intro to what I was going to talk about tonight and how I used to come into the new year thinking that I was going to be this completely different person but was not willing to do anything differently. And this was basically most of my 20s. Happy New Year, love. So, for the most point, it's like for my 20s, I really just would go into every single year dreading the new year. And I probably mentioned this to you guys before in my last live video that, either the year would suck really bad and I was just excited to get out of it, or I was fearful of the coming year. So I just wanted to stay in the year that I was in. And when I tell y'all, it's like I would dread New Year's like all the time. It would always be like this just heavy cloud that would just be over me, and it's nothing that I could really look forward to. And of course, on January 1st, you have no choice but to go with the flow. But if I could go back, like I definitely would. So it's like from 2009 to probably about like my mid 20s, this was me. And just to give you guys a specific example of what this new year, new me would look like, or what I thought it would look like. So in 2013, like I mentioned to you guys before, if you watched previous videos, 2013 was a hard year, like a very hard year. It was hit after hit after hit. And I went into that year coming out of 2012 thinking, you know what? I'm about to cut all these people off. Anybody who had anything to do with me in my past, we're not doing that. If they want me, they're going to have to reach out to me. I'm not reaching out to them. I'm not sending no texts. Because I would always be the person who sent holiday texts and New Year's texts. And it's like, you know what? I'm not doing that this year, right? So here's the crazy thing about that. With me thinking that I'm proving a point by limiting my interaction with these people, I really wanted that interaction. So here I am just sitting there waiting for people to reach out to me that I really could reach out to. But because I'm on this new year, new me thing, here I am just sitting there waiting for them to reach out to me. And the danger with that is that you are really denying yourself connection with people. And oftentimes, even when you've seen people on social media who do it, which my sister and I laugh at this all the time, people who immediately say, I'm cutting this person off, I'm not doing this anymore, this, that, or whatever. But 2 weeks later, you see them doing the same thing that they were doing before because you realize it's more so limiting to you than the people that you're trying to make a point to. It damages you. Kind of like how they say with unforgiveness. Like that's like drinking a poison and wishing someone else would die from it. You're only hurting yourself. My sister's laughing. Yeah, because people, they really just crack us up. It's like, wow. It's like, why go and make these bold statements? But again, I understand because I was once that person. So, of course, eventually the people that I wanted to hear from, I did. But it took a while for me to hear from them. And even still, like, it wasn't necessarily the conversation that I wanted. So here I am again, upset. Because it's like, this plan isn't working the way I wanted it to work. Because I was the type of person who wanted people to come in, beg my forgiveness. I wanted them to ask me where you been, why you haven't been reaching out. You know, it was like very self-fulfilling. Instead of me just being real with myself, if anything needs to change, it is you. We have someone else who joined. Hello. So it took me a very long time to realize that it took more than me just saying New Year, New Me. I really need to be a new me, but I did not know how to go about doing that. So 2013, like I said, it was a doozy. It was hit after hit after hit. And like I told you, a lot of those connections that I was trying to control, they ended up just not being what I thought they were going to be. You know, some were reaching an end, some were reaching a new period. And I may have mentioned this before in a previous video. Like, I actually lost a friend. He died unexpectedly. You know, so with me trying to have all of these strong boundaries around people, I really was just damaging myself. So from there, again, here I go into yet another year, dreading what happened in 2013. So it's like I have this longingness again. And the same thing happened in 2014, me trying to control the parameters around me and other people instead of just letting them be. So here I am, wishing other people would change, other people would be different, that everyone else would just get on board with what I wanted instead of realizing the change is going to happen with you. It's not just going to happen. Thank you, my love. So it's not just going to happen just because you want it to happen. You actually have to put action to it. So, toward the end of, I think, 2015, that's when I really started to get into, I guess you can say, a self development phase. Because even though I had been working on myself here and there, it still really was not to the extent that I needed to really see a definite change. So, at the end of 2015, that's when I started doing things a little bit differently. That's when I wanted to connect with God more. So, I started doing these challenges. I started calling into a prayer line, started reading the Bible. You know, when you have the, I guess you could say, like, the daily devotionals, like in a Bible, it's like I was checking those off, like, okay, I have to, strengthen my relationship with the Lord, which was, yeah, I was on the right path, but I still was missing a really, like, important factor in that. It's like you can read, you can pray, you can go to church, you can do all of these things, but if you're not really applying all the things that you are learning, it is basically just falling on deaf ears, which is what was happening to me because I was trying to just, again, change the outside without really going inside to make a significant change. So, toward the end of my 20s, that's when I started to see, like, uh-oh, maybe I do need to be different. Maybe I shouldn't react to people this way. Maybe I should be more understanding. Maybe I should be less judgmental. So, when I started to have that mirror put up to me during the time that I was in a relationship, that's when I started to see, like, uh-oh, maybe all of those issues I had with people in the past, maybe it was me. Yes, application really is key. And that's something that I talked about with my therapist. She was like, you're highly intelligent, all of these things, but you just don't apply. And that's what I told her. It's like, that's always been an issue for me, the application. It's like, okay, I know better, but how do I do better? So, like I was saying, once I started to have this mirror up to where I can see all of these not so great things about myself, I was like, okay, so what does a great me look like? I still didn't really have a clear idea of what that picture looked like. And again, still holding on to those old behaviors, even though I wasn't going into each year dreading it. I still went into 2020 like, oh God, because a lot of changes were going to happen. So they were good changes. But because I still was battling me and my old self, I was trying to fight against them. Because again, it's like when you've been in that place for so long, it's hard to want to let it go because it's comfortable to you, even though you're miserable there. This is all you know. So it is very uncomfortable when you're trying to step away from that and step into something new. So here I go again. So even though I don't have the new year, new me attitude, it's like, oh God, like I gotta be a new me. And it's like, I don't want it. So even though I was still trying to step into this person, still did not have a clear idea of who she was. So I was fighting it at every angle, and that's what led to the breakup at the end of 2020. So I went into 2021 thinking, like, you know what? Don't have a catchphrase, don't have a theme, but I know for a fact that what happened last year, like, it cannot continue. What happened in all those years before, it cannot continue. Like, something has to be different. Like, we are in a new decade now. Like, come on, like, something has got to change. Something has got to be different. And I did not know that 2021 was going to be the year where I saw exactly what needed to be different. And when I tell y'all, like, it literally just blew my mind when you really are able to pull back all the layers and you're able to see like just how deeply rooted like all of your insecurities are, all of these false beliefs that you have about yourself. Like I really just was just shocked. It's like I can't believe I really felt that way about myself. And in previous videos, I've mentioned it was a very harsh reality to admit I really did not love myself. I really did not see myself as worthy. I did not see myself as deserving. That's why year after year after year, the same thing is happening because I'm not taking the time to really just be one with myself, to really know myself, to really learn myself, to really love myself. Yes, my sister said in the words of Kiara shared, something has to break. Yeah, and it definitely broke last year. It definitely broke, and I've talked about it in a previous video that it was literally an emotional breakdown that I had last year at the end of May. And going into the summer, I was like, okay, we have got to do something different. So from there, that's when I started going to therapy. And when I started going to therapy, it's like that's when a lot of things just began to fall off. And I wasn't just peeling back the layers, a lot of things were just completely falling off. And it's like, oh, because before I would peel back the layers and peek, but I would lay it back down. But now it's like I can actually have some things that I can actually just peel off and be like, that's not me anymore. This doesn't hold me back anymore. It's like I'm not fearful of this anymore. And the past few months have just been transformational for me, which is why I could go into 2022 just from Friday to Saturday, because that's what it felt like for me. It didn't feel like, oh, here's a big year that I'm going to have all these things to do and I'm dreadful of it. Or it's like, man, you know what? I don't know if I can do all of this stuff. And it's like, I try to, hide, try to hold on to the year before, but it's like 2021 has served its purpose. So it's like 2022, it's like, come on, like, here we go. It's like, whatever you have for me, I am willing to receive it, which is why I am able to step into 2022 as New Year, same me. Because the person that I have been becoming, I love her. She is amazing. I don't think anything about her has to change, because she's doing her work. She is very self aware. She is one with herself. She is one with God. Like, she is really just on fire right now. And it's like, I like her. So I want to keep her. There's nothing about her that I want to change. And y'all, like, this past week for me, has just been confirmation that I am exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to do. The conversations that I have been having with people has just been just mind blowing. And I know I use this word a lot, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's like my mind is just completely blown because I know that it's no one else but God. Like that cannot be me who's doing that. I had been put back into similar situations that I was in before I was really working on healing, before I was really working on myself. And those situations went a completely different way. But to be put back in similar situations, and I can choose a different outcome. I can choose to show up differently. I can choose to be a different version of myself. Thank you. And really, it has just been amazing. And it's like not just in my romantic relationships, my family relationships, my client relationships, like every single aspect of my life. Like when I tell y'all, like, there's no other explanation for it but God. And it's like you don't need to do anything different. Absolutely nothing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I probably mentioned this before. Like, I'm just focused on growing. That's all I want to do. It's like I don't want to change absolutely positively anything else. I just want to continue to get better. I just want to continue to grow. I just want to continue to keep doing what I was put here to do. I just want to continue to serve people. And I'm finding like that really is the point of why any of us are here to serve others. And the way that we serve is going to be different. But it's like where I have been placed lately, it is like, oh, you know. And I want to let people know that at the end of the day, I am not a licensed mental health professional. I'm not a life coach or any of that stuff. So what I am sharing with you guys are just from my personal experiences. And I'm telling you, like, it worked for me. And I'm not saying that it definitely will work for you, but I am telling you it is worth a try to really just work on you, to really just work on healing, to work on growing. And when I tell y'all, like, y'all probably would be shocked at who you meet. And that's something I've been saying lately. Like, I cannot wait for people to meet me. The people who have been in my life, like, I cannot wait for them to meet me again, to really see me. And even with my clients, even people who I still have yet to meet, people I don't even know that I am going to meet, I cannot wait for them to meet me. And just to give you guys an example of, how I used to be versus now, like, I had a conversation with a client last week. And it's so crazy because at the time that I was working with her, I was in a dark place. And I was telling her, it's like, wow, I could not have had this conversation with you a year ago because what we were talking about before was completely different. It was much lighter. But what we talked about last year was super duper heavy. Super duper heavy. And I was telling her, it's like, I probably would not have been able to have this conversation with you a year ago. And it's like, I needed to go through the things that I went through so I could tell you what I'm telling you now. And what's so crazy, there were things that my therapist was sharing with me just the night before that I was repeating to her. And there is no way that the conversation would have happened had I still been the person that I was before. This new me that I kept trying to pretend like I was, but really there was no change whatsoever. Thank you, my love. I am realizing that. My sister mentioned you're a woman of God, you're his child, daughter, you're loved. That's the one thing that I have to remind myself of all the time because I won't say that I forgot. I really question if I ever really understood that because you know how you might say things. It's like, I am a child of God, but it's like, do you really believe that? Like, do you really understand what that means? And all the things that I was looking to other people to do for me, God is doing it. You don't need other people to do that. And if anything, he uses people to enhance what he does. But it's like you don't need people for that. Like you can just go to God instead of looking for other people to meet your needs or fulfill whatever desires that you have. Like God is already doing that. And that's really what I'm coming into now, like really understanding what it means to be a child, a woman of God. Like, oh my God. And it's like I could have been doing this years ago. But again, I always say things happen at the time that they are meant to happen. It would not have the same effect if it would have happened years ago. I wouldn't be on here talking to you guys about it if it would have happened years ago. So everything happens at the time that it is meant to happen. And again, that is God in and of itself. And I'm just glad that God is using me now. Even with me coming on here and sharing this with you all, like it's okay, to reach a point to where you realize what's been happening isn't working. So I need to do something different. Like that is perfectly fine. Because once you're able to come to that conclusion, then you're able to be a better version of yourself. You're better able to have a clear picture of who that person is. Because remember when I told y'all, I didn't know who this better me was. Like I had an idea that I wanted to be better, but I did not know who it was. I definitely know who she is now. And she's right here in front of you guys right now. And it's like, I want to keep seeing more of her. I want her to show up in every single aspect of my life. And really, all that means, I just want God to keep showing up in every aspect of my life, and that's something I say, just keep blowing my mind, God. Keep preparing me for what you have for me to receive. Allow me to be open and willing and ready to receive it. I told you guys that my word for last year was ready. I didn't really understand what I was going to be ready for at all, but now that I understand, it's like I've got that lesson. So now all I can do is grow. That's all I can do is continue to elevate, continue to soar, continue to go higher, and I just hope the same for you all. Like, I really do want this to be the year that if you have been going back and forth about whether or not there's something that needs to change, be serious about it. Be able to identify what that exact change is, what it looks like, and go after it. Trust me, it's like everything will fall into place when you are moving for the right reasons, in the right spirit, like when your heart is in the right place, because a lot of us do question our worth. We question whether or not, like, would it even be worth it if I decide to do this? Something as simple as even getting a therapist. Something as simple as deciding to buy a self-help book. A lot of us go back and forth like, will it even work? Will it even be worth it? Is it worth the money? Is it worth this? Or is it worth that? Trust me, it is definitely worth all of those things. But what is worth it even more is you being the best version of you that you can possibly be. That's what makes it worth it. And let me tell y'all, like, that investment is priceless because it will be a continuous investment in yourself throughout your life. So I don't just see myself as being, New Year saying me this year. I see this from here on out. It's like I'm going into each new year from here on out, same me, just better, just stronger, just wiser. And like I said, it took a while for me to get here, and now that I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Absolutely, positively nothing and no one can shake me or move me from this place, and I absolutely love it. And not even me can move me or shake me because that's who was getting in the way before. But it's like now, girl, you're not going to do that. You cannot get in my way. So I hope that you all enjoyed this live. I didn't want it to be entirely too long because I did touch on some things that I have discussed before, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about it now that we are actually in 2022. And if you guys are at that point to where like, okay, so there are things that I want to do, but I'm not exactly clear on how I want to do them, just reach out, you know. And this isn't even anything that's being a plug for business or whatever. Just reach out to me. It's like I enjoy having conversations with people. If you have questions about anything, you can drop them in the comments, send me a DM. Like, I'm just here. Like I told you guys, I am just ready, willing, and able to serve you all. And that is what I want to do. And if I can help people get to the place where I am, to where it's like every single year I'm going to be the same me, it's like that's all I want to do is help other people get to that place. Because when I tell you, like, how people say, like, I love it here, I definitely love it here. And I am not going absolutely positively anywhere. So, again, if you guys wanted to have that combo, reach out to me. You can DM me, send me a comment. And, I'm pretty easily accessible on social media here on @SheWritesMasterpieces on Instagram. Also, you can reach out to me on Facebook. Someone else joined. Hello. So, for the person who just joined, I am about to close everything up, but I was just giving everyone, an encouraging word that if they wanted to work on something and they are not exactly sure how they want to accomplish it, they can just reach out to me and I'm just here, and it's like, use me. Don't take advantage of me, but use me, and I'm just willing to be here as a listening ear sometimes, because sometimes people don't even really need advice. They just need to talk things out, and then talking it out, they're able to figure it out, or if you just have specific questions, if I'm able to help, I will. If not, I will point you in the right direction, and I am excited that we are in 2022, so that means we have a new schedule for live videos. So I am going to do them every other week. So Let It Go Wednesday will be on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Then the next day I will do Pick My Brain on at Masterpieces Writing. So that will be on my business account, and that will be at the same time on Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time, and it will be every other week. So next week I will have an off week, and then I will be back the following week. Now the only thing that would throw that off is holidays, but this is definitely the schedule that I will be mostly sticking to for the year, unless like there's an extended period where there's a break. But I would definitely update you guys and let you all know that. And also, I want you all to control the content that you are going to see this year. You know, a lot of last year, like I mentioned, that was for me. A lot of things that I needed to get off my chest, a lot of things that I needed to process and make peace with. But I really want this year to be about you all. So if you have any topics that you want me to discuss, if you want to get on here and chat with me, reach out to me, leave me a comment, send me a DM to let me know what's on your mind, let me know what you're thinking, you know, and even if, you know, you don't want to let everyone know, it's like I can still sneak it in there in a way to where people won't know that it's you and the topic that you're interested in can still be discussed. And my goal is to just keep growing, you know, not only as a person, but to keep growing my platform. And I want it to be as interactive as possible. So, like I said, I just want you all to contribute. You know, this content is for you. I feel as if, even though there still will be some episodes that will be geared for personal things in my life, I feel as if I'm reaching a point to where, okay, you're good. Now it's time to really help someone else. Even though other people may have been touched by things I said before, I really want that to be the focus now. So again, like I said, if you guys have any topics that you guys want to discuss, make sure that you let me know in the comments or send me a DM. And as always, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to the link in the bio, go to my website, look around. Now, the website is going to get redone pretty soon, and it is going to be possibly released probably in February. And I also have something else that I plan on releasing in February as well. But like I said, I let my mailing list get first dibs on everything that is going on. So if you are not signed up for my mailing list, make sure that you do that because they will be the first to know when the website is up, as well as this other project that I am working on. And as far as me personally with my personal projects, I am still writing my book, my self-help book. And even though I intended for it to come out last year, God let me know this story is still being written. And I'm so glad because when I tell y'all, like, I am even amazed. Even though I know that it's me writing it, it's like I'm amazed. And it's like, thank you, God, for allowing me to wait on you. Because it's like, this is amazing. And even though, yes, I'm sure the book would have been great before, but it would not have been able to have the impact that I know it is going to have. So I will be sure to keep you guys updated. I am at 30,000 words now, and my goal was 40,000, but it might be over that. I don't know, but it's like I didn't want it to be too long or too short. But it is still going to touch you all, and hopefully, I hope it's gonna help people heal. You know, and that's really been my focus lately. You know, so again, make sure that you go to the link in my bio. Make sure that you sign up for my mailing list so you can be one of the first to know when all of these things are going to be dropping and popping up. And if you want to work with me one on one, you can book with me. We can do pick my brain, we can boss your goals, whatever it is that you need to get ready for 2022, whether you're ready to write that book or you're ready to make a career change, you're ready to launch a business, whatever it is, I promise I got you. And also, if you're not ready to work with me one on one, but you still want to get the info that I would share in a one on one session, make sure you go to Gumroad and check out my ebooks. You know, there's a lot of content there. I recently released an ebook last year, which is weird to say, but last year in December, so last month, and it is Doing Business the Legal Way, How to Start and Run an Online Business. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you get your copy. And I also have the Key to Accountability, as well as my first ever ebook, How to Write a Book Without Breaking the Bank. All of that is there. And I also have some career content there for you guys, so just make sure that you go and check all of that out. And let me do a time check. All right, this is perfect, 6:32. So again, make sure that you guys stay tuned. Tomorrow I will be on at Masterpieces Writing doing Pick My Brain. So the question will be, okay, so resolutions don't work, but I'm going to let you know what will. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure that you go over to at Masterpieces Writing. Make sure that you follow me and hit the notification bell so that you can know when I go live. And as always, thank you guys for rocking with me, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. So have a wonderful night and stay tuned. Talk to you guys later. Bye.